Yeah. So what's really surprising to me, going back to what you were talking about with your stats earlier, technically we say we're in a seller's market, but you're right. We are seeing more terminations, but what we're really seeing is we're seeing a few more. We're now sometimes seeing houses sit on the market, and we haven't had that in quite a while. And we started that kind of last year, but we're also seeing the comeback of sellers saying, I'll buy a home warranty for a buyer. I'll contribute to some closing costs. Because for a while that was unheard of. You weren't getting anything out of your seller.
Went to the no class too.
They didn't have to do anything to sell their house. And now you're finding a lot more where I think that really does show that we're getting into a bit of a buyer's market. Buyers are having advantages now. And you're right. Buyers have the right now to really look at that property and say, they don't have the pressure like they did the last couple of years, where if you're going to get a house, you're just going to have to settle for a couple of things. You're going to have to settle for some stuff and just to make it happen. Now buyers can say, I just really wasn't satisfied with that home inspection. It's just not good enough for what I'm paying in my mortgage and what I'm paying for the overall house and what I'm going to pay in my interest rate. It's not worth taking these things on. So we're in an interesting place right now, in my opinion. I know stats say it's a buyer's market. We see that it's a seller's market, but it's a kind of that place where we're right in that transition right now. Both really have an equal advantage right now.
I think if we had more inventory, we would be in a full buyer's market. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're within the average price range or lower, it's still a seller's market. Mm-hmm. But once you start getting in the higher price range, I don't think it's a seller's market, because you can't just do anything. Right. Interest rates it's not feasible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a couple of years ago, maybe even last year, one of the faster moving segments of the market was the higher priced houses, which is not the case anymore.
Yeah. Right. And I think that was just due to the low interest rates. People were reaching up.
You could afford way more.
They were just grabbing and going. But it's an interesting dynamic that when you were saying the days on the market has gone down.
Yep.
And our inventory has gone up.
Well, I think a lot of that is off-market selling. I think that's one of the things, because houses are sitting a heck of a lot longer than they have been. So if you get a bunch of 0 days on the market, that can skew that number.
Or is it more of, if you price appropriately in the market, boom, it's gone. And then there's a lot of people that are out there like, I'm going to hang on to, 2 or 3 years ago pricing where they're, wishing for what is not there. But people that figure it out and price appropriately, I mean, it is. We still are seeing multiple offers if it's priced right.